In this video, we will learn how search engines work. Before we go into the workings of a search engine, let us see what are the different types of search engines. The web search engines or regular search engines use their own indexes and answer all kinds of search queries. For example, Google or Bing are regular web search engines. You can ask any question to these search engines and they will answer the question. Meta search engines use indexes of other search engines, then combine the data and rank pages in search results. The reason meta search engines came into being was a lack of scale in early search engines. Because of the limitation of crawling and indexing and server capacities, most search engines could not index all the websites. So the meta search engines came into being, which would collect information from other search engines to create a much better and bigger picture of the web and then deliver results from this aggregated view of the web. Individually, each of those search engines could not deliver the same quality of result because the indexes were smaller. And the meta search engines combine these smaller indexes to create a much larger index and therefore a much more better result. Vertical search engines are topical search engines. They give you search results specific to a topic or kind of result. For example, when you search Google, you might see several other searches such as news, video, images. Those are all vertical search engine results. So, in addition to delivering the web search results, Google also delivers you search results for news, for videos, for images. So that is one form of vertical search engines. It limits the search results to a specific type of data. Another form of search engines is vertical search engines that limit their search result to a specific field or industry. Then there are local search engines. They provide localized results for search queries. For example, Zomato provides you search results about restaurants in a city. So it is a form of local search engines applied to a specific vertical, which is restaurant. So you could think of Zomato as a intersection between vertical search and local search. The local search engines are becoming very popular due to the rise of mobile devices. A lot of searches people do on mobile devices are local searches. People are looking for information about local businesses, attractions, driving directions. Those are all local search results. Let us also look at the different type of searches. You can search for text, you can search for images, you can search for videos, and you can see all of these in any Google or Bing search result. When you search Google or Bing, the default search result is a text search result from across the web. Then there is a text search result from news vertical. Then you have image search, page full of images that match the search query or search criteria you enter. You also have video searches. These searches list only videos that match the search query that you enter. Out of these, text and video search are very important because a lot of people use that. People also search for images, but not as much, and image searches are not directly applicable to most businesses. Let us look at the types of search queries people use. There are primarily three types of search queries people use on a search engine. Informational search queries, where somebody is seeking for information about a topic. For example, I might enter places to see in Goa. That is an informational search. I'm trying to collect information about places I should visit or see when I'm in Goa. Informational searches have some business value or commercial value, but they do not indicate a readiness to transact. So when I search for places to see in Goa, I'm not saying I want to book a hotel or book a restaurant or I'm ready to buy a ticket for a show or something like that. But the fact that I'm searching for information about places in Goa means I am interested in going to Goa. And therefore, I might be of value to restaurants, hotels, and tour operators or attraction owners in Goa. Because at some point in near future, I might be going to Goa. That is why I'm doing this informational search. And when I'm ready to go to Goa, then I might book hotel, I might book flight tickets, I might book restaurants, or I might visit places of interest. And if I have a business that falls in any of these categories, I should be on the short list of this person. Transactional or commercial searches indicate readiness to transact or indulge in a commercial activity, buying activity. For example, if I search best hotel to stay in North Goa, now this is a query that tells that I may be ready to book a hotel, and that's why I'm looking for the best hotel in North Goa. Or I might search for best hotel to hold a conference in North Goa. So it indicates that I may be a business or an event company trying to organize a convention or a seminar in Goa, and I'm looking for a hotel that is suited for the purpose. So I'm much more ready to start a commercial transaction or activity if I search using transactional or commercial keywords. The third type of search queries are navigational queries. For example, seeking a specific URL or a page. You'll be surprised to know that thousands of people every month search for Facebook login page. Now that's a navigational query. Other websites have no interest in serving this navigational query. Facebook has an interest because the person wants to log into Facebook, is having problem, and therefore is searching for the login page. And therefore Facebook would want the login page to show up in the search result. But if you are selling mobile phone on Amazon, you're not interested in this person. The navigational queries are the lowest in the hierarchy of interest to a business, unless the query happens to be about the business's website, our own business. Let us understand bots a little bit better. We have been talking about bots for a while, so let us see what bots really are. A bot or a software robot is a program that automates repetitive tasks. So you want to do something repetitively without the intervention of humans, you write a software program that does it for you. For example, you might write a program that adds up days total sales. So all the total sales are in Excel, and instead of having to go in and enter the some formula every day, you decide to automate it, write a small program that looks to the sales, adds it up, and displays the total sale. That saves you some work. That's a bot. In the context of internet and search technology, bots are used to describe a software that interfaces with users and collects data. Specific to search technology, it means software that goes around from website to website collecting information about the pages on those websites. These bots used by search engines are also called spiders. And this process of going from site to site is called crawling. So, just like a spider crawls on the wall, these search bots crawl on the internet, going from one site to another. The primary purpose of a search bot is to figure out which sites are there, what pages are there on a specific site, and what is the content of this page, collect all that information, and put it into the search engine's database. What the search engine bots can do or cannot do on your site can be controlled by a file called robots.txt file. It's a plain text file that is present on every website, and this file has instructions about what bots can or cannot do on the site. You can modify this text file to control what bots can do on your site, which pages they can access, which pages they cannot access. Let us see how search engines are structured. A typical search engine has three elements: bots or spiders that search the web and find pages that are not already indexed or have changed since the last time the spider crawled this page. So if you have a new website, the bots or spider will come to your website and it'll collect all the information about all the pages on your website. Now, if you add a new page or you update an existing page, on the next visit, the bot will look for the changes and find the pages which have changed since last time it crawled the site or new pages that have been added since then. Once it finds those pages, it is going to put all this information in the database. This process is called indexing or cataloging. So indexing and cataloging is the second part of a search engine. It basically means that all the information that the search spiders or bots have collected is being entered into a database that can later be searched to find the relevant pages in response to a search query. Because these pages need to be searched, the search engine is going to create an index. It is going to sort these pages based on the relevance to different search terms or queries or keywords. So it can figure out which pages to pull out in response to a search query. The third part of the search engine is the search interface and relevancy software. So Google.com is the third part of Google. It's a search interface where you go and enter your search term. And once you enter the search term, the relevancy software or the search algorithm then looks through the index and delivers the most relevant search results to you. Almost all search engines are very similar in respect to first and second part. They all have bots and they all have indexing using pretty much similar techniques. Where they differ is in relevancy software that determines which pages rank first, second, and so on and so forth. So far, Google has the most advanced, most sophisticated relevancy software, which has resulted in Google dominating the search market. Let us take a deeper look into crawling. How do bots know which sites have been added to the net and which pages have been added or which pages have been changed? A good practice is to create a sitemap and submit it to the search engine. The sitemaps include all the pages on the site as well as their publication date and update date. Whenever you change something on the site, you should regenerate the sitemap and resubmit to the search engine. Even if you don't submit your site to search engines, they may still find it following links from other site to your site. So if you don't submit your site to search engines, but you have a link from a site that is already in the search index, then the next time Google's bots crawl this site, they'll find the link to your website and it'll follow the link to arrive at your website and it'll discover a new website. And once the search bot is on a site, it'll follow the links to find different pages on the site. And as we go deeper in this course, we'll see the importance of menu structure, internal linking to help the search bots find all the relevant pages on the site. Because if you want your pages to rank in Google search results, the first order of business is to get them indexed. And they'll get indexed only when the search bots find them during crawling. The bots will collect the page URL, the meta description, the page titles, the content of the page, links pointing to other pages, image information, video information, and other files that are being linked to from that page. Once this information is collected, it is stored in the search engine's database in the form of an index. It is stored in the form of a database because it makes it easy for the search engines to process it. The search engines store a snapshot of the page in the cache. It's a snapshot because it has the information at the point of time when the crawler or the bot crawled the page. If the page has changed since then and Google has not reindexed the page or recrawled the page, then Google information will be out of date. During indexing, search engines will also look at links that are pointing to the page which is going into the index. Because Google has information from around the world, it has indexed almost all the pages on the web. It knows which pages link to where because of the information being in its database. So when a new page is added to its database, Google is able to figure out which other pages are pointing to this new page, the backlinks that are pointing to this new page. And once the content is indexed, it becomes searchable. So the Google's search algorithm or relevancy software can quickly find the page when somebody is searching with a query that is relevant to the page. So how do search engines determine relevancy of a page to the search term? The relevancy means finding pages that are most likely to answer the question asked by the user in the search term. So if I enter places to visit in Goa, what I'm really asking Google is show me a page which has the best information about places to see in Goa, which can help me figure out which places I should see in Goa. So that's the question. And Google will look to find page which has the most complete information about places in Goa. They look for pages that have information related to Goa, the search term, and then it must determine the quality of information on the page. So, which pages have high quality information? So that the pages will be able to answer my question properly. And Google also looks at the user experience provided by the page. For example, if the page has too many ads, it degrades the user experience because it will be difficult for me to read the page. If there's an ad after every two sentences, then I'll need to scroll a lot, I'll need to skip, and it'll break my continuity of experience. So Google looks at even those factors in determining the relevancy of the page to the search term. Also, the page must be safe for browsing and should not indulge in spamming. For example, if a page has malware and Google detects it, it will not show the page in the search results, or it will show a warning next to the page saying this is an unsafe page. So all these things go into determining the relevancy of the page to the search term. But how does Google or other search engine understand what is the information on the page? Can they really read the page? Are they smart enough to understand the meaning of the content on the page? Most search engines use software that reads the page and tries to understand what the page is about. However, this software still hasn't evolved to a level where it can work like a human. Therefore, search engines rely on many elements of a page to figure out what the page is about. It looks at set of words or phrases and the synonyms that are appearing in the content. So if I search for places to see in Goa, I look at pages where places to see in Goa appears frequently, or Goa places of interest to tourists, Goa tourist spots, famous spots in Goa. Those are all phrases that mean the same. Now, Google may not be able to understand that all of these different phrases mean the same, but it can understand some of them which are more closely related in terms of usage of English words. So it'll read through the pages and try to see if the page has significance for the term places to see in Goa. If the same word or similar sounding pages appear at many different places and at important places on the page, it's an indication to Google that the page is about Goa tourism, places to see in Goa. So, what are those places? For example, it might appear in the heading, it might appear in bold, it might appear as a file name for the image used on the page. So, all these are different ways of telling Google or the search engine what the page is about. Once the search engine understands what the page is about, it needs to understand what is the quality of information on the page. In the initial days of search, pages totally were ranked based on the information on the page. So the search engine will look through the page, try to see which keywords or words appeared very frequently across the page, and will think that this page is very relevant to this search term. Then came Google and started looking at links coming from other sites. And then the software evolved even further to be able to more closely analyze the content on the page. So now, for example, it looks at length of the content and its structuring, in addition to looking at the links pointing from other sites to the page under question to understand the quality of the content. Google also keeps track of user data. For example, how many users are bouncing off the page, how much time people are spending on the page, what they are doing on the page, and so on and so forth. And that information tells Google about the quality of the page. So if people are spending a lot of time on the page, it tells Google that the page is of high quality. If people are bouncing off, Google will think, okay, this page may not be very high quality, or the other pages on the site are not of relevance to the user, and therefore to the keyword that was used. Search engines, especially Google, looks at multiple factors to estimate the quality of user experience. For example, it looks at how fast the page loads and whether it is suitable for the device it is being accessed on. So nowadays we use mobile devices a lot, and these are different kind of mobile devices, phones, tablets, they come in different shapes and sizes. Can the page be viewed on all different devices without killing user experience? Can the page adjust its layout so the page looks good irrespective of the device that it is being accessed on? That's a very important factor in ranking pages today. The number of ads displayed on the page is also an important factor in estimating user experience. Google understands that sites need to display ads, but they must be displayed in a way that it does not obstruct the user experience. So if there are too many ads or they appear in places where the content is placed in the middle of the pages, it kills user experience. Sites which show too many pop-ups also suffer from a degraded user experience. Especially on mobile devices, the pop-ups are very difficult to handle, and if you have a pop-up on a mobile device getting showed, Google is going to downrank your page on mobile devices because the pop-ups are killing user experience. Page safety is an important part of search equation. Search engines do not want to show pages in their search results which may be unsafe for users, which may have malware or spammy sites. So Google and other search engines constantly monitor sites for malware or malicious software, and they flag sites which are infected with malware and can in turn infect users. Known sites for spamming are considered unwanted, and they're pushed down in search rankings by all the search engines. Okay, so let's see how much you have learned from this video. What are the three elements of a search engine? Are these spider or bots, index, and user interface? Spider or bot, index, and search relevancy? Human edited directory, index, and user interface? Human edited directory, index, and search relevancy. The correct answer is bots, index, and search relevancy. These are the three most important elements of a search engine.